Good evening. My name is Katrina, and I'm here to talk about the norm reference test versus the criterion reference test. In the norm reference test, they are standardized tests designed to compare and rank students in relation to one another. The norm reference test also compares individual scores with those of a larger group, usually either within the same age group or grade level. The norm reference tests are reported as a percentile. In a criterion reference tests are standardized tests that are designed to measure a student's performance. Criterion reference tests are based on what a student is supposed to know or be able to do at a specific age or development or level of education. Criterion reference tests also assesses students on WH questions, concepts of print, and the RTI inventory strategies. Um, in pre-K, there are two different types of tests. One test is called the Batel's test. The Battelle test is considered as a type of criterion test, and the DIG test, which stands for Develop, Inspire, and Growth Standardized Test, is a type of norm test. In the Battelle test, students are asked questions about like doing different things. The teacher observes the students on how they handle material, how they um, get along with classmates, how they deal with the curriculum. In the DIGS Development Inspired Growth Standardized Test, students have to be able to identify letters and sounds. They have to take a test with listening and following directions, and they have to be able to associate sounds with different things throughout the class, which like animals, people, colors, things like that. And kindergarten uses a assessment called the BAS. And in the BAS, students have to recognize letters and sounds and concepts of print. Um, in the letters, recognizing letters, the kids have to receive a score of 48 out of 52. Um, Identifying sounds, they have to receive a score out of 21 out of 26. And the concept of print, they have to receive a score out of 15 out of 21 in order to excel to the next grade level. In first and second grade, the kids have an end of the year book test, in which it's a type of criterion test where they get tested on the things that are learned within the classroom setting, what the teacher have taught the kids. Third, fourth, and fifth, they do different tests: school citywide test, the BAS test, the FSA test, and the Wessler intelligence test. And these are different types of norm tests and criterion tests that the kids take. Um, what I knew about the norm and the criterion test is I knew that in the school setting the kids have to take these tests within the different grade levels. What I didn't understand is how can a child that's 0 to 11 months be tested using a norm or a criterion test. With the Battelle, the kids are tested as early as 0 months up to 7 years of age. Um, the ideas that I got from this study was I knew I was I now understand the difference between a norm and a criterion test. I understand what um, types of the different types of norm and criterion tests that the different grade levels take, and what the information that they take from these norm and criteria tests. Um, what is still challenging to me is we have students that come over to the United States, and a lot of them don't speak English, and these students have to take these norm and criteria tests. And what puzzles me is the information that the teacher receives from these tests. They build curriculum and they use strategies to help increase the knowledge for these kids. But what happens to children who don't understand the English language? Is these norm and criterion tests assessed in their home language, or do they have to do the norm and criteria test in the English language? And to me, if the kids have to do the norm reference test and the criteria reference test in the English language and they don't understand the English language, I don't think that the test is valid, due to that they don't understand what's going on or what is being asked of them. So to me, I felt like as a future educator that the norm reference test and the criteria reference test should be given to students who don't speak English and give it to them in their home language. If a child speaks Spanish or French or Dutch, the norm reference test and the criteria reference test should be given to the child in their home language. By giving the child the norm reference test and the criteria reference test in their home language, this makes this develop a better growth for the child, a better understanding for the child, and the teacher can be able to teach the child on the things that they need to be taught. Thank you.